And one of the things that a lot of people have been looking at and passing around on I've seen it on every single platform, is some of the stuff from the World Economic Forum. And there's the famous title that says, like, the year is 2030. You live in this city, you have no privacy, you own nothing, and you'll be happy. And when you first see that, you're like, okay, this is probably taking it out of context. But then you go and you read that article. Have you read that?
I have not.
Okay. You're not missing much. It's written by some chick from Denmark or something. I don't know what the fuck she does. But she describes that and she's associated with the World Economic Forum. She describes it in a frighteningly nonchalant way. And she talks about how the government has all of our data. They know everywhere we are. We don't need cars because we live in this utopia city. In fact, we don't even need to leave the city because no one has it like us. And we just use public transportation. Everything's free. And then there is literally a line in there where she says, you don't own any of your data, and you hope that it never gets used against you. Like, it's not, oh, it's never going to get used against you because that's the trade-off here. It's like, you hope it never gets used against you. So when people read that, because I don't know how many people actually went and read that article. No one does that. I mean, they just look at the meme and call it a day. Yep. But I'm reading that and I'm like, okay, this one's a little less conspiratorial. This is a little crazy because this is someone in power saying this stuff, and she's openly telling you that, like, yeah, it's a shot, it could be used against you. And so we're looking at this trade-off now to go to this space where, yes, do you want the utility and convenience you get from it? And of course, like, I look at it and I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up, like when I first hear about the technology. But the adoption battle is probably going to be tougher because people are going to be more on the lookout, like, well, what's the bigger picture from the powers that be here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think it's a challenge, and there's like I think one of the core issues is that it's very difficult for the average person to understand exactly how that's working. What data somebody has on you. Like the biggest question that I would have is like, what do you actually have? And I think there's this like common misconception too that like the only thing that somebody has on me is like the video that I liked on TikTok. Or something like that. I think that's it's a challenge, especially with young people. The gap from like what is actually being collected and what I can learn from what I'm collecting to what the average person thinks is being collected or what the average person believes, whether it's one of the large tech companies or the government actually has. I think that gap's probably pretty big.
Yeah. And I think the fear would be when you see it get, what's the word? When you see the data get attacked. Like if you see hacks or you see big companies or the government who's supposed to be protecting data to use it for whatever it is they give us, and then suddenly it gets into the wrong hands or it's used for the wrong reasons. That's always the worst fear that people have.